Okay, hi students. We know we are in class. We are in lesson 3. Topic is rain. Where does it come from? Where does it come from? In our previous class, in our previous session, we discussed that 3 states of matter, mainly water in different forms. Water in different forms. Water, it remains in solid form, liquid form, and also in gaseous form. Okay, solid form, liquid form, and gaseous form. Solid, that is ice. Liquid, it's nothing but water. Gaseous form, that is nothing but vapor, water, vapor. So this case, solid, it changes to solid, it changes to liquid, liquid changes to gas. Examples for this is ice, and this is water. An example for this is vapor, that is water vapor, we call it as. Ice, on supplying some heat, so this ice, when some temperature is supplied to this, when heat is provided, so it turns its form to liquid, that is water. And if you heat this water, it changes its form from water, that is from liquid, to gaseous form, that is vapor. It changes into vapor. Water, it changes to vapor. Again, this vapor, on cooling, this vapor, it turns its form into liquid, and this liquid, again on cooling, it turns its form to ice, that is solid. Ice, that is solid form. Did you understand? I repeat once again, understand well. So here we observe ice on heating, or when some temperature is supplied to this, when heat is supplied to this ice, which is in solid form, it turns into liquid, that is water. Water on heating, it turns its form to vapor. And vapor on cooling, so this vapor, it turns its form to liquid, that is water. And water on cooling, further cooling, so what happens? It turns to solid state. It turns its state to solid. Clear? So this is a reversible process. We can say it is a reversible process. Why? Because we are getting its original form again. We can able to get ice again from gas. We are getting water again, it is turning into solid. So we are getting its form, its original form, that is ice. Ice, when it turns to liquid, that is turns to vapor. Again from vapor, we are getting its original form, previous form, that is ice. So this reaction, this is said to be a reversible reaction. It is said to be a reversible. 2 types of reactions we are having. One is reversible, next one is irreversible. Reversible means which we can able to get its original form again. After reaction, we should able to get its previous form. Its previous form, that is said to be reversible. And irreversible means where we cannot able to get a process, if not a reaction, where we cannot able to get its original form again, or its previous form again, so we call it as irreversible reaction or irreversible process. Irreversible process. This is one of the example for the reversible process. And do you know what is the example for the irreversible process? Irreversible, burning a paper. Burning a paper. When you burn a paper, example, this is the paper I have taken. If not, we can take a wooden piece. If not a paper, I am taking a paper here. This is nothing but paper. When you burn this, it turns its form to ash. A powdery substance. It turns into a powdery substance. Can we get that ash again into the paper again? Can we have this ash? Can we see or can we obtain a paper from ash again? No, it cannot be possible. So this is one of the example for the irreversible process. Irreversible process. Now let's see. Okay, there is an activity given for you. Okay, activity 1. Activity 1. Let's observe what according to this activity 1. Activity 1. I'm coming to activity 1. This is nothing but condensation. Condensation. What is condensation? The phenomenon or the process of conversion of gas into liquid. The process of conversion of conversion of gas or vapor. Gas, if not you can write vapor. Okay, vapor into liquid. Into liquid is called condensation. Condensation. What is condensation here? The process of conversion. The process of conversion of gas. Conversion of gas. The process of conversion of gas or vapor into liquid is called condensation. What is here? What is condensation? The process of conversion of gas or vapor, okay, into liquid is called condensation. Okay, so just now we discussed. So this liquid whichever is present, this liquid on heating, it turns its form to gas. It turns its form to gas, or this we say this as vapor. It turns into vapor, and this vapor on cooling, okay, this vapor or gas on cooling, it turns its form to liquid. So this phenomenon or this process we call it as condensation. We call it as condensation. Okay, where do we observe this condensation? Example, a rice cooker. Rice cooker. When you boil the rice, so what happens? While boiling, okay, we add some water, we add some rice to it, and we close that lid. After that, we leave it on the stove for some time. We heat it, we boil that for some time, and after a few minutes, we notice, okay, vapor, if not the gas, releases outside. Gas, if not the vapor, releases outside. This gas, okay, and after completion of this cooking of food, if you open the lid, and we notice some water molecules present inside. Water molecules present inside. Why? How you got the water droplets there? Okay, clinging to the lid of a cooker. How you got that? How do you observe that? So do you think all this water which you have poured into the container, okay, it might have escaped there? Yes, that's true. Okay, it has been escaped in the form of gas and cling to the lid of a cooker. Once when the stove is turned off, okay, all these gas molecules, that's vapor, it gets cooled and turns its form to okay, a liquid molecule, liquid droplets. So that phenomenon is known as condensation. Not only that. So if you take a glass, this is the glass I have taken. Inside this glass, I added a cold drink. Okay, cold drink. Okay, I added cold drink into this. After some time, we notice the water droplets attached to this one. We see the water droplets cling to this. Okay, external wall of the glass. External wall of the glass. We see the water droplets over there. How come, or from where do we have these water droplets? Do you think somebody sprinkled the water droplets around the glass? Do you think that water droplets are sprinkled around the glass? No. That's due to the temperature. Okay, the temperature which is present inside the temperature which is present inside, it is too low. Very less in temperature compared to the temperature which is outside, that is outer environment, compared to the outer environment. Because of that, so we see this, okay, gas molecules, okay, it is released outside and it forms water droplets. It forms water droplets. Not only this glass, even a cold drink bottle, if you place it outside, any object, even the vegetables, fruits, whatever it may be, when you bring out from the refrigerator and place it, okay, place those objects, place those vegetables or fruits from the refrigerator and place it outside. After some time, we see the water droplets on the surface of that particular object, or on the surface of the fruit or a vegetable. Why it's so? That is because of condensation. That is because of condensation. That's because of variation, and that's because of difference in the temperatures. The temperature in outside is different from the temperature inside the object, inside the vegetable or inside the fruit. Example, this is the fruit I have taken, an apple. So when you bring it outside from the refrigerator, after some time, okay, if you touch it, we see water droplets upon that. We feel it is cold. How come it happened like that? That's because of the different temperatures. We see water molecules on the surface of the fruit, or on the surface of the glass, or on the surface of the bottle. So we call it as